Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something you use every single second, the hidden logic that powers the entire internet. It's this flawless system working 24/7, and we're going to show you exactly how it does its magic.
So let's kick things off with a simple question, but one with a really cool answer. You hit send on an email? How does that message travel halfway across the world in, less than a second? I mean, think about it. How on earth is that even possible?
Well, the secret, it turns out, lies in one of the internet's core invisible engines. It's called the network layer. You might hear tech folks call it layer 3. But for us, let's just think of it as the internet's global postal service. I mean, a massive, super efficient postal service. Its entire job is to handle the addressing and delivery of every single piece of digital mail you send. So let's break down how it actually works.
All right, first things first. For any postal service to work, right, every house, every office, they need a unique address. It's just common sense. Well, the internet is no different, and the way it handles these digital addresses is actually pretty brilliant. So, the network layer uses a system I'm sure you've heard of, the IP address, and it works almost exactly like a physical mailing address. It's a great analogy. You can see how the last part of the address is kind of like your specific street number. That's your device. The middle part? That's your city and state, which points to your local network, your digital neighborhood, if you will. And that first part, well, that's like the country, pointing to the bigger network it's all a part of.
But here's the catch. The original system, which we call IPv4, only had about 4.3 billion addresses. Now, that sounds like a lot, but with the explosion of smartphones, smartwatches, heck, even smart toasters, we were literally running out of space. So, and this is the crucial part, we created a new, much bigger address book called IPv6. How much bigger? It has 340 undecillion addresses. That's a number so big it's hard to even imagine. It's a 340 with 36 zeros after it. The takeaway? We are never going to run out of addresses again.
Okay, so we've got the address sorted out. Our digital letter knows where it's going, but it still has to actually get there. It needs to be sent, sorted, and delivered. And for that, we need to meet the actual mail carriers and the post offices of the internet. Let's dig into the hardware that makes this whole thing go.
And every journey starts at home, right? For your computer, that starting point is the network interface card, or NIC for short. Seriously, the best way to picture this is as the mail slot on your computer's front door. It's the physical point where every piece of data comes in and goes out. It's the gateway from your machine to the rest of the world.
Yeah, but this is a really smart mail slot. It's not just a dumb opening. First, it takes your digital message and turns it into electrical signals or radio waves that the network can actually understand. And get this, it has a unique permanent physical address called a MAC address. Think of it like the serial number stamped on your device. It's different from your IP address, which can change. And finally, it wraps your data up in the perfect little package for its trip. Okay, now here's where things get really interesting. How we sort this local mail. You know, back in the early days, networks used a thing called a hub, and it was basically a town crier. It just stood in the middle of the room and shouted every single message to every single device. You can imagine, totally noisy, super inefficient. Thankfully, we got a lot smarter and upgraded to the switch, which is more like a quiet, efficient, and very discreet butler. So yeah, the switch is like the mailroom in an office building. It's the thing that connects all the devices in one building, your local network. And when a piece of mail comes in, it looks at that permanent MAC address we just mentioned, the name on the letter, and delivers it directly and only to the correct desk. It's super fast, super efficient, and it operates at what we call layer 2, which is all about these local connections.
But wait, a local mailroom is great for delivering mail inside the building. But what if you need to send a letter to another city or another country? Well, for that, you need something bigger. You need the major city post office, the one that connects to the big highways. And that right there is the perfect job for the router, truly the workhorse of the internet.
Routers are the absolute heavy lifters of the network layer. Remember that? Layer 3. Their whole purpose is to connect different networks together. So, that little box in your house, it's connecting your home network to the entire massive, sprawling internet. It reads the destination IP address, the city and country on the envelope, and then it does something amazing. It looks at its map of the internet and chooses the best, fastest route for your letter to travel. It's making these huge decisions constantly.
All right, so we've got our address system, the IP address, and we've met our postal workers, the NIC, the switch, and the router. Now let's put it all together. Let's follow one single packet of data on its grand journey from your screen to its destination. It really is like a beautifully choreographed dance. So check it out. Your email leaves your computer through the NIC. That's the mail slot. Then your local switch, the mailroom, directs it straight to your router, That's the main post office. From there, your router shoots it out onto the internet highway. And now it's hopping from router to router to router, each one making a split-second decision about the next best step. It finally arrives at the destination's local network, where their switch makes that final personal delivery to the correct device. And the craziest part? This all happens in the blink of an eye.
So, you might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but why does it matter? Well, this system isn't just clever. It's the fundamental reason the internet works at all, why it's so massive and so incredibly reliable. This whole design gives the internet two superpowers, and they are absolutely crucial.
Okay, superpower number 1, scalability. It just means we can keep adding billions and billions of new devices, new houses on the map, without having to redesign the whole system. That's why your new phone just works. Superpower number 2 is fault tolerance. This one is amazing. If one of the roads is blocked, say a cable gets cut, the routers are smart enough to just find another way around it, instantly. That's why the internet almost never breaks. It just reroutes itself.
And that really is the whole point. The network layer is what puts the inter in internet. It's the magic that allows all these different, separate networks all over the world to connect and talk to each other. It's the reason a device here can talk to a device on the other side of the planet, seamlessly. It's what connects us all.
So, next time you hit send, just take a second to think about that incredible, invisible postal service doing its thing. But remember, what we've talked about today, the network layer, it's just one of 7 layers that make all this work. It makes you wonder, right? What other invisible systems are you using right now without even knowing it? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.